Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Eric, KJ4YZI. You're watching Ham Radio Concepts, and this is the announcement to give you all the details about the podcast that starts airing tomorrow. Now, thank you first and foremost, of course, everybody that's been following me all the years, all the subscribers, all the commenters, all the emailers, all the donators. I haven't forgot about any one of you. Maybe I haven't shown my appreciation, but don't forget, I never forget about who you are. To Patreon, my patrons on patreon.com/HamRadioConcepts. You are funding the bill for the Shortwave podcast and the podcast for iHeartradio, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Thank you guys on Patreon. I really, really appreciate everybody's donation. It is making this possible. And thank you to HamRadioPrep.com. Ham Radio Prep has given me a lot of sponsorship. I believe in their product. Tons of people. My son is in the garage right now playing pool with my wife, his mother, and he is getting his technician class with Ham Radio Prep. My wife is getting her technician class. Tons of people. HamRadioPrep.com. Use the code EricPodcast20 in the description below. Save 20%. Thank you for Ham Radio Prep for even giving me the opportunity to say, hey, Eric, I want to support you on your podcast. That sounds like a whole new adventure. Thank you to Ham Radio Prep. So here is the official details right now. On iHeartradio podcasts, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, you can search Ham Radio Concepts podcast. You should find it. And on WRMI on 9.395 megahertz, that's facing on a rhombic at 100,000 watts facing North America and Canada. And 5.950 megahertz on a rhombic facing Europe. 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're going to have the ability to listen to the podcast whenever you want on those platforms, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whenever you want. I like to listen to stuff when I'm driving, you know? I like to listen to stuff I got nothing to listen to. But then if you really want that authentic shortwave radio feeling with my special guest, my first podcast with the best special guest I could ever have is tomorrow, Sunday, which would be the 23rd of January on 9.395 megahertz and 5.950 megahertz. And that's going to happen every Sunday, 8 to 9 p.m. on those frequencies, plus all the podcast platforms. I hope you like this podcast. I really do. I hope that you email me at hamradioconcepts@gmail.com and tell me what you'd like to talk about. Let's get on. I use the program, let's see, what's it called? Cleanfeed.net. Cleanfeed.net is a free program. You download it. We can get on with high fidelity audio. Cleanfeed.net. The link is in the description below. Let's talk about something on the podcast. I already have 4 or 5, 6 other people that are lined up, but if you want to get on there, you want to talk about stuff, let's just shoot the breeze, man. Let's have a good podcast that has radio involved and whatever else. Let's do it. Cleanfeed.net is the program I use. But thank you to my patrons, patreon.com/HamRadioConcepts. I haven't given you guys enough thanks. I'm going to do it 3 times in this video. Thank you, Patreon, and all my friends on Patreon that have given me donations in the past, and I haven't done nothing for them. That's sad. I'm not that creative, but now your patronage is going to hard work on this podcast. Thank you so much. All my followers on YouTube, Facebook, everywhere else, check us out on Instagram, Snapchat, all kinds of other stuff, man. The links are all in the description. Stay tuned. Tomorrow night, 8 to 9 p.m., the Ham Radio Concepts first podcast, and I hope that you love this episode, because I do. And I hope my special guest had just as much fun doing it as I did. 7-3, everybody. KJ4YZI.